You might have come across an 8-weight thread while shopping in your local quilt shop and thought, what can you even use these threads for? Well, everybody knows that they're popular hand embroidery threads, but there are a number of other things you can use them for. Today I'm going to show you some uses for them, and here's a hint. You can use them in your sewing machine. Couching is a technique done on the machine where you lay the heavier thread over the fabric and with a smaller thread in the bobbin and needle, sew over the thick thread to hold it in place. This is easier to achieve with a couching foot, which has little grooves that hold the thread down in a straight line and makes it easier to couch with multiple threads at once. I recommend placing a stabilizer under the fabric to give your stitches a better consistency. When couching, you'll want to set your stitch width so the needle falls just outside your couched threads. Sew slowly and guide the fabric and threads either in a straight line or curves if that's the look you're going for. The thread you use in the top will also make a huge difference in the appearance of the couching. In this example, we've used a random dyed variegated rayon thread called Mirage. You can see how the changing colors of the top thread impact the colors of the couch threads and blend together. On the other hand, if you do not want the top thread to show at all, I recommend using this ultra-fine 100-weight thread called WonderFil. This is a cottonized polyester thread, meaning it's still quite strong for its size, and a neutral color will blend in very well with the fabric and the couch threads. This is great if you only want the couched threads to show and not the top thread. It's fun to experiment with a variety of different top threads to achieve different looks. Bobbin work is another way you can use these heavy threads in the machine. To do it, you'll need to wind the 8-weight thread onto an empty bobbin. Because this thread is in the bottom and not on the top, it means you will actually need to sew your design upside down. Before starting, you may need to loosen the tension on your bobbin casing. For a tutorial on this, check out our video. I also recommend placing a stabilizer over the wrong side of your fabric and increasing the stitch length on your machine to give the thicker thread more space between each stitch. Because the bobbin thread is so thick, you'll want to use a much finer thread in the top. I'll be using WonderFil, the 100-weight thread we used for couching when we didn't want the thread to be seen. This will help reduce the bulk in the fabric caused by the 8-weight thread and also reduce tension problems in the machine. Because we're sewing upside down, your stabilizer will actually be facing up. It can be as simple as a straight line, but you can also use decorative stitches on your machine. Just avoid compressed stitches such as a satin stitch. For a more in-depth look at bobbin work, check out our video tutorial. 8-weight threads are not just for the domestic sewing machine. They can also be used on the serger for an incredible decoratively finished edge that is a lot faster and easier to make than a binding. To do this, load the 8-weight thread in the upper and lower loopers of the machine. You could also use a lighter weight thread in your lower loopers. We'll be using this 40-weight polyester thread called Designer in our needle. Your serger will create a gorgeous edging that is perfect for finishing small projects and mini quilts. For detailed instructions, including how to thread your serger, check out our video tutorial. A glossy pearl cotton or a shiny rayon will create a beautiful effect for your crocheted and knit projects. We knit this shawl using Dazzle for a subtle sparkle that catches the eye through the whole piece. For 8-weight thread, I recommend a size 2.5 to 3 crochet needle or a size 2.5 to 3 knitting needle. Making your own homemade tassels is easy and fun, and you can achieve all kinds of cool effects depending on the thread you use. To make a tassel, wind the thread multiple times onto a stiff piece of cardboard. Tie a knot around the thread on one end of the card and snip loose the thread on the other. Then take another thread and wind tightly around the top end of your tassel and secure in a tight knot. Your strands may need a quick steam to make them lay straight. Then you simply need to straighten the strands of thread so they're all the same size. You can check out our detailed video tutorial on how to make tassels for an in-depth look into this simple craft. Hand embroidery is a term that can cover a variety of techniques, such as sashiko, which consists of a simple running stitch used to create a design. You can use hand needles and 8-weight thread to create an incredible multitude of stitches, from the classic French knot to the simple backstitch and more complex ones like the bullion knot. There are a lot of video tutorials and books out there that will show you how to make these stitches. One of our favorite guides is the Creative Stitching book by Sue Spargo, which shows detailed diagrams and finished stitches that make it easy to recreate them yourself. Many hand sewers use hand embroidery as a form of meditation. It's also become increasingly popular to use this technique as a way to do visible mending on clothing. We encourage hand embroiderers to experiment with different thread materials and achieve different looks and textures in their stitching. Now that you know all the uses for 8-weight thread, let us know in the comment section below what technique you're excited to try, or let us know what type of video you'd like to see next time. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like this video, or hit subscribe for more great tips and tutorials. We'll see you all next time.